Hi, Dr. Bill here with our next newsletter. Obviously this one will be in video format. There are various formats that we use. In a previous format, which was the written one, we talked about a particular form of exercise. And what I'm going to do today is to talk to you about how you can get the most from your exercise while using the least amount of time, which I'm sure you're all interested in. And in fact, 1 hour a week is all you need to achieve your maximum fitness. Now that might sound like an extreme claim to make, but that's actually documented scientifically. So I'd like to show you how you can do that and put it in a simple way for you. Some time ago, a number of months, we put out an article on what we called IVI training, intense varied interval training. And this is one method, and there are more than one. There's another one I'm going to talk about in a moment, but I'm just going to refresh our minds on that one as I introduce this other method, which is similar but not the same. So intense varied interval training is simply where you take your breathing and your heart rate up to its maximum and keep it there for as long as you can. That's the intense side of it. The idea is that you can go anywhere from 1 to 4 minutes with intense breathing, and then you recover. You allow your breathing to come back to normal, and then you again exercise. And now I should add, you can do any exercise you want. It doesn't matter what you do. You can run, you can swim, you can cycle, you can use the cross trainer at the gym, whatever it is that will get your heart rate and your lungs working to their maximum. And you do that from anywhere to 1 to 4 minutes. You have a rest in between, and then you do it again. And you only need to do that intense time for 12 minutes. So you could do 6 lots of 2 minutes, which equals 12. Or you could do 4 lots of 3 minutes. Or you could do 12 lots of 1 minute. Or you could do 1 lot of 3, 1 lot of 4, 1 lot of 1, 1 lot of 2, etc. So you can mix it up. Now the idea of the varied interval training, interval simply means you do your maximum, then you rest. Maximum, then you rest. Varied means that you may do a 4 minute or a 3 minute or a 2 minute or 1 minute segment. But it also means that, let's say you did 6 lots of 2 minutes for 3 times a week. That would take you an hour. Now, let me break that down for you. The idea is to do 12 minutes of intense exercise. That doesn't count your warm-up, it doesn't count the break time, it doesn't count your cool down. So you need to add those on to the 12 minutes. So let's say you did a couple of minutes warm-up, 30 seconds in between, and then a couple of minutes warm down. That's actually a bit more than 20 minutes. But the figures are not that strict. The idea is to go at your maximum for anywhere to 1 to 4 minutes, and when you add those up, that's 12 minutes. You have your break in between, you have your warm-up, you have your cool down. Now the varied, what that means is you may do, as I said, 6 lots of 2 minutes for a couple of weeks, but the idea is to vary that so you're not doing that all the time. So the next couple of minutes, next couple of weeks, you may do 4 lots of 3 minutes, or 2 lots of 3 minutes, 2 lots of 2 minutes, a couple of lots of 1 minute. I know that might sound a little bit confusing, but the idea is you do your 12 minutes total and you mix it up. You don't do the same thing all the time. What they did with this was this is the book that actually describes the intense interval training, and he calls it, Dr. Al Mears calls it the PACE, P-A-C-E. And the 12-minute fitness revolution. Are aerobics and cardio are dead? Now that's quite a significant statement to make, but in the book is all the research. Now my wife bought me this book, and it sat on my desk for at least 6 months, and I thought, another book on exercise, last thing I need. Exercise is pretty straightforward, you get out there, not hard to do. So I thought I'd better read the book, because she got me it for my birthday. So otherwise she's going to say, have you read the book? So I read it and I couldn't put it down, because it just blew me away, all the research that was put into actually this system of exercise. And like most of you, I'm very, very time conscious. So anything that could reduce the amount of time I spent on my exercise was a big bonus for me, and I'm sure it will be for you. So, and you only need to do this 3 times a week. And they said if you do it more than that, it's actually detrimental. The body starts to break down. It also compared the intense varied interval training with long distance or endurance training, where you do a long distance run or long walk or a long swim. Now, let me qualify what I'm about to say here. Almost any exercise is good to some degree, as long as it's not harming your body, with impact or pulling muscles or whatever. So any exercise is good, but some exercise is much better for you. You get a better result. So the idea is the intense varied interval training, they've found through medical testing, is much more effective for you. You get fitter quicker, and it's much better for your health than if you do what we call endurance training, aerobics. Goodness me. Now, there is something else called metabolic syndrome. Now, metabolic syndrome is easily remembered by thinking of a high five. These are the 5 indicators of future major health problems. And they're all problems that occur in the body, and they can all be measured. You've got high blood pressure, you've got high cholesterol, you've got high sugar in the blood, you've got high insulin in the blood, and you've got high amounts of fat stored on different parts of your body. Generally the men store it around the gut, the women around the bum and around the hips. So those 5 indicators, when they start to go above normal, that tells you that your body is in trouble. It is the ideal way to predict a major health problem in the future. Major health problems such as a heart attack or a stroke, cancer, diabetes, arthritis. These are all the major problems that you can get usually later on in your life. And the high five, or the metabolic syndrome, is the ideal way to predict that. Now, when your lifestyle is not ideal for you, especially if that's long term, you have too much stress, whether that's mental stress, whether that's physical stress, working long hours, not sleeping enough, whether that's biochemical stress, wrong diet, allergies, the environment, the pollution, and they all add up. When those exceed your body's ability to cope with it, your body tries to adapt. And the way it adapts is by raising those areas. It raises your blood pressure to try, it's a fight or flight situation. It raises your blood sugar. Again, you need more sugar for fight or flight. It raises the insulin. It raises the cholesterol again. So it's an adaptive mechanism which helps you to cope with stress. What it's not designed to do is to help you cope long term with that. And so when that's long term, that of course can then lead to the body breaking down in the areas that we've just mentioned: cancer, heart attacks, arthritis, etc. Now, although drugs are useful in the short term, if you use drugs to control any of those factors, what you're doing is you are inhibiting the body's adaptive mechanisms. You're suppressing them. Now again, short term, that's fine. But long term, what that does is it actually makes you less able to adapt to your stressful environment. The idea is to change the environment, to change what you do. Easier said than done, but that is the way it is. Now, the analogy we like to use is that if you're driving in your car and your oil light comes on, let's say it's flashing, usually it doesn't, but let's just say it's flashing, and it can be very distracting. So what you can do is you can stop the car, take the bulb out, problem solved, doesn't flash anymore. But if you ignore that, obviously you're going to have long-term damage to your engine, same as your body. Now, if you're trying to drive and that's distracting you, yes, by all means take it out temporarily because it's a problem, but long-term you need to do something about it. So these high five, the metabolic syndrome, are signals to you that your body is having to adapt to an environment that is not ideal for it. And of course, some things in the environment we can't change, but some things we can. Now, the other form of exercise I want to talk to you about is also covered in this book by Phil Campbell, and he calls it the Sprint 8. It's also known as Peak 8. Now what Peak 8 is, similar to the IVI, is that you do 8 lots of 1 minute maximum exertion. It's only 1 minute, but you do it 8 times, and you have an approximate 1.5 minute break in between. So similar to the first one, but a little bit different. And so you warm up for a couple of minutes, whatever you do, then you go flat out for 1 minute. Now if you're doing longer than 1 minute, then you're not going hard enough. I would like to add something very important here. It may take you some time before you can get your body to go flat out for 1 minute. And what I mean by that is you don't want to pull muscles. So it can take a while to get your body to the point where you can go flat out for 1 minute. Then you recover for about 1.5 minutes, and then you do another minute. So 8 lots of 1 minute. Now it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you go up to your maximum heart rate and lung rate for 1 minute. Now if you're not fit, sometimes walking can do that, or walking up steps or walking up a hill. So obviously we're all at different places in our lives. Some of us are older, some of us are not as fit, etc., etc. So it has to be tailored to your where you are at, both in your fitness but also in your body, in what you can actually do in that 1 minute. Now you'll find though that as your fitness improves, it's not easy to go flat out for 1 minute. And what we mean by after that minute, you cannot go any further. You just die. I won't say die, I don't want to use that term, but you just have to stop. You cannot go any further. That's how you know that you've gone flat out for that 1 minute, because you have to stop. And usually once your fitness level, I've tried that in swimming, and I can't do it in 1 minute. I can go longer than a minute. I can go maybe 2 minutes just going flat out swimming. So usually swimming will not do it for me. So for me, I have to sprint. I have to do like he says in here, the Sprint 8. I have to sprint to do that. You can do it on a bike. You can do it on a cross trainer at the gym. So anything that goes maximum for 1 minute, and then you have a break in between. Again, 3 times a week. So if you do 8 1 minute maximum exertion sessions, 1.5 minutes in between, and you do say 2 minutes before and after, workout, cool down, that's 20 minutes, 3 times a week. You can get to your maximum fitness in just 1 hour a week, 3 20-minute sessions. Sounds crazy, but they have the research to prove it. That we talked about the high five, they measured all of those factors, and all of them improved. Blood pressure, blood sugar, insulin, cholesterol, and fat. Now, there was something else that improved also, and that is the human growth hormone, HGH. Now what human growth hormone is, it's something that is considered by some to be the youth hormone because it helps to keep you young. And as you get older, the amount of human growth hormone in your body decreases. That's why a lot of the film stars and the bodybuilders inject human growth hormone to actually help them keep younger and for the bodybuilders to give them more muscle. So don't get me wrong, girls, human growth hormone won't give you big muscles. What muscles do is give you your normal shape. So a normal shape for a guy, obviously different from a normal shape to a woman. So ladies, muscles are good because muscles burn fat. And muscles do weigh more than fat, so you might weigh a little bit more on the scales, but no one knows that. All you need to worry about is how you look, and muscles give you your shape. So your human growth hormone helps to give you muscle. It puts on muscle and it burns fat. So there is a product called Zeta 8, a Zeta 8 product called Figure 8, which actually helps the body, we believe, actually helps the body make human growth hormone when you're asleep. So a lot of people take this product and take it before they go to bed at night, and it actually helps their bodies to burn fat while they're asleep. So the human growth hormone helps to keep you younger, helps to increase your muscle, and it also helps to burn your fat. Doing Sprint 8 or Peak 8 or the 8 1-minute maximum exertion can increase your growth hormone by up to 7 times, and sometimes a little bit more. 7 times more human growth hormone in your body, and all naturally from doing the Peak 8. It also increases when you do the intense varied interval training, but I don't think it takes it up quite as high. I may need to be corrected on that, but that's from basically what I've read. Either way, they both increase your human growth hormone. So my suggestion is start with the intense varied interval training, because you may find that it takes you 4 minutes to really get your heart rate up and your lung rate up. And start with the intense varied interval training. Get your muscles in your body and your joints used to going flat out, so you build up gradually. So it is important to obviously stretch. The idea is to warm up, then you stretch, which is going to add more time on. Very important to warm up, then you stretch, so as you're taking your body up to its maximum, you're not going to pull a muscle or you're not going to injure something. So I'm a great believer in stretching. Never used to be, but now I am, and I do stretching all the time, because as you get older, whether you like it or not, you're going to get stiffer. That's age does that, and so it becomes critical to do plenty of stretching. Really, the best type of exercise program is in 3 parts: the stretching or the flexibility, the what we call endurance, we shouldn't call it, but where you do your maximum heart rate and your lung rate, and the third one is where you do strength training. That can be done with weights or some type of resistance, pulleys, rubber bands, whatever it is, where you actually do strength training. There is another discovery on strength training, which I'm not going to talk about now, but we'll do that another time, where again you can get the maximum benefit from your strength training, developing your muscles by doing it in a certain way. But that's another subject for another time. Let me just say one other thing that will help you understand why your intense varied interval training or your Peak 8 is so important. They've found that lung capacity is a great indicator of the chances of getting a heart attack. As your lung capacity decreases as you get older, or as you get unfit, you are more likely, this is what the research has shown, you are more likely to get a heart attack. And so the lung capacity, your ability to get air into your lungs, is an indicator of your likelihood of getting a heart attack. So the idea is to strengthen your lungs so that it acts as a preventative for your heart. Not to mention the fact that the better your lungs function, the more oxygen you're going to get into your body, and you need oxygen to be able to burn fuel for energy and for many other things. Very few of the pathogens that we know like the presence of oxygen. Cancer cells don't like oxygen, viruses don't, bacteria don't, fungi don't, parasites don't. So all the pathogens and cancer cells do not like oxygen. So the more you develop your lungs, the more you can process oxygen and get them into your body. You develop your heart, increases your circulation, so the delivery system to all your cells is improved also. So that's it for this newsletter. So I'm going to sign off, and we'll talk more in another newsletter on the lungs and on breathing. Thank you, and I want to wish you your health and your happiness. This is Dr. Bill signing off. Thank you. Hi, Dr. Bill here. I just wanted to mention that when you are looking to increase your results, particularly with your exercise, there are certain products and foods that you can do that actually will maximize your benefits. The Z8 product range has been specifically designed to help people to increase their performance. Now that may be for bodybuilding, and we have a protocol for that, which you can find on the website z8.com. There's a protocol meaning which products should you take for bodybuilding, increase your muscle. We have a protocol for fitness. What products can you use to actually improve your fitness? What products can you use to improve your weight control? What products can you use to become more physically cut or defined or sculpted? And so we have protocols which tell you which groups of products, 2 or 3 products that you can use to actually help you with your exercise program and your diet program, which would just helps to give you much better results. So this is Dr. Bill signing off again, and I look forward to talking with you soon.